What is up, everyone? Paul from Timeless Gaming here, and today we're going to be showing you guys how to complete the Rave in the Redwoods Easter egg inside of Infinite Warfare in 2026. Now, before we begin, I suggest having for your Fate and Fortune cards at least having Eagle Eye and Scope Dollar on, because we're going to need that for later on. Also, as soon as you spawn in, head right up here and pick up the M1. This is what we're going to be using for a lot of the game. Head through the map until you get to this portion, and right over here you're going to pick up the first boat piece next to the Speed Cola machine area, and then head up here inside of this trailer and pick up the Type 2. We're going to be using the Type 2 basically for the entirety of this Easter egg by itself, as well as the M1. After that, head down into the basement following through the cave, and you'll be able to turn on the power machine and open up the bottom door to get back into the spawn area. Next, we're going to head upstairs to the second floor by where Tough Nuff is. We're going to pick up this second boat piece right over here in this corner. And now we're going to head a little bit further. So now we're going to take the opposite way through spawn, heading towards the boathouse. And as we're heading towards the boathouse, we're going to enter into these cabins. And right over here against this pillar is going to be our third and final boat piece for us to go ahead and pick up. After you've picked it up, continue going through until you get to the boathouse. So follow the exact path that I'm taking. You'll get to this sign and you'll take a left right over here. Head down this hill until we get to the far end of the docks, and then just follow the docks to the end, and right next to this boathouse building where the boat is sitting in, to the left of it is going to be this reel that you're going to want to go ahead and pick up for the Pack-a-Punch machine. After that, ride the boat until you get to the island and head up to the cabin up here and talk to Kevin Smith up on the second platform. Right out here, also make sure you pick up the second reel and put it on this projector in order to open up the Pack-a-Punch room. Once you've opened up the Pack-a-Punch room, we're now going to head back to the main island. We're going to head back to where the Speed Cola machine is, and where we picked up the very first boat part. So once you get here, what you're going to do is head up the ramp to the right of Speed Cola, head to where the big giant statue is, and right over here on this pillar, it'll say pick up item, and go ahead and interact and pick up the first picture for us. After we've done that, we're now going to head over here to the left side campfire right outside of the bottom floor of spawn. Once we've done that, we're going to now interact in this exact area, which is going to bring us into Rave mode. Now we're going to have to shoot the arms off of zombies, so make sure that you're aiming to either the left or the right arm and shooting just the arm off. You will see like wisp kind of thing heading into the ground where the hands are reaching out, and you want to kill about 10 zombies. Once you've killed all of them, it will say to interact again. Inspect the item, and a slasher will now spawn in. What you want to do is wait until the Rave mode ends, and then go ahead, dual wield your Type 2, and just spray into the slasher until you take him out. Once you've killed them, the zombies will be wiped, and then you'll get yourself a max ammo, and you'll also be able to pick up the part right there from the ground, which will be glowing for you to go ahead and grab. After that, head back to the boathouse island and talk to Kevin Smith once again. Once you've talked to Kevin Smith again, head back to the main island, and we're now going to pick up a second part for the second ritual. Head over to the spawn area, and now we're going to head up to the second floor. Head all the way to this second room where Tough Nuff is, and the second you walk into this room, turn around and you will see on the ground it'll say pick up item, where you can get the second picture. Once you've gotten the second picture, we're now going to head back to the boathouse, and we're going to pick up the reverse shotgun next to where the boat is. So make sure that you pick up the shotgun. We are going to need it. It doesn't matter the attachments at all. As long as you have this weapon, it's going to make this one easier. Now head back to the Rave area where the statue is and Speed Cola is, and right over here on the ground directly in front is going to be another place where you can place the picture at. Once you've done that, you will be teleported back into Rave mode, and now we're going to have to take out zombies' legs. So use the Reaver, aim as close to the ground as possible when you're shooting at the zombies, and you'll be able to take off their legs, and again you will see the glowing wisps heading towards the hands coming out of the ground. You want to kill about 10 zombies once again, And once you have killed all of them and taken out all of the legs, you will be able to once again interact with the ground just like the first ritual, and another slasher will spawn, so make sure you're ready. Go dual wield with your type 2s, run away from the slasher so he doesn't automatically kill you, and then wait until you're out of rave mode, and then just spray him down with the type 2s. After that, go ahead and pick up your max ammo, and once again pick up the next item on the ground from the rave mode. After, head back to the exact same Pack-a-Punch boat island and talk once again to Kevin Smith for the final time. We will now have to go do the third and final ritual of the map. So head back, and now we're going to head over here to spawn. Head down into the basement where we turned on power earlier, and right over here in this little crevice is going to be a skull that you're going to go ahead and pick up. Once you've picked up the skull, we're now going to head towards the boathouse. We're going to head actually over here on the opposite side of the dock to another area. So once we get over here to where the canoes are, we're going to head to like the middle of these two trees, and you'll be able to place down another ritual item. Once you've done this and you're back inside of rave mode, you will now have to get headshots from the zombies. Once again, get about 10 headshots with your type 2 and wait until it has completed this ritual. So keep getting headshots, taking them out as fast as you possibly can, and then we can move on to the last one. Once again, interact on the ground to have another slasher spawn in. Wait until the rave mode ends, and then go ahead and take out this third and final slasher. Pick up the max ammo again, and pick up the item from the ground that we can now take to Kevin Smith. Now, once you've done this, we have a couple of more steps until we are complete. I would suggest getting your weapons ready. Once again, use the type 2 if you can, and you have double Pack-a-Punch unlocked from beating the zombies in Spaceland Easter egg, which I have a video on how to do that on the channel. Go ahead and double pack. There's also another way to double pack in the map that I'm not too sure about, because I did beat the zombies in Spaceland, so make sure that you are double packing both the type 2, and make sure that you just either singularly Pack-a-Punch the M1 as well. I would also suggest perk-wise to make sure, of course, you have Up and Adams, which is Quick Revive, you have Tough Enough, which is, of course, Jug, as well as Speed Cola in the game, Double Tap, which is Bang Bang, and of course Trailblazers. Once you've done that, head back down to the basement of the spawn area and interact with the light. Now, no matter how many people are in your game, you'll have to interact with that many lights all at the same time. So if you have 4 people, you have to interact with all 4 lights in order to get this to happen. Once you've done that, head back to the boathouse where Kevin Smith will now be sitting on the boat waiting for you. Once you get on this boat with Kevin Smith, you will no longer be able to do anything else, and you will be locked right into the boss fight. So again, make sure that you've Pack-a-Punch and got everything ready before you hit that light. Once you've done that, you will get on the island after a long, lengthy cutscene, and you will now be in rave mode, where you will have to fill 2, if you're on solo, soul, balls, basically. You will kill zombies. They will be on 2 different sides of the map. The first one is over here by the water, and then the second one is over here in this corner next to where the max ammo is. Now, the thing is, I would suggest staying all on the outside of the map and literally running them in a full circle from soul ball to soul ball. So I would just literally go around the outskirts. Don't go through the middle of the area at all. Just stay completely on the outskirts of it. Take out a couple of zombies and literally just keep repeating it for the step. Take out like 2 to 3 zombies even, and then go to the next one. Take out 2 to 3 zombies, go to the next one, and repeat this process as you're going through. If you do take too long and you don't end up killing any zombies and getting a soul up, the soul balls will begin to lower down until it goes back into its first state, and you will have to raise it up all the way to the top. Now, the way that you know that you have completed one of the soul balls is the light will be glowing bright blue. Once it's glowing bright blue, you know you have completed that soul ball, and you will now have to focus on just whatever the second soul ball is. Max ammos as well will periodically be spawning in as you pick them up. So say you pick up a max ammo, and then you have to wait a certain amount of time, I'm not sure the exact amount of time, and another max ammo will spawn in. Once you have filled both of the soul balls, though, there will be this little circle that will spawn in one of the two areas. Again, if you're on solo, there will be more soul balls depending on how many people you have in your game. What you want to do now is take the slasher into this circle, and then a rune will pop up somewhere on his body that you will have to shoot. Once you've shot that rune, the glowing purple piece on him when he's inside of the circle, you will then be teleported out of Rave mode and back into the normal world. What I would suggest doing now is literally making a couple of crawlers, killing all of the running zombies around you, and just leaving those crawlies. The crawlies won't die unless you kill them, and literally no more zombies will spawn when you're doing this step, which makes it 10 times easier. So again, make sure that you're doing that every time. Once you have your crawlies ready, though, and you are inside of normal mode and no longer inside of Rave mode, we will now have to do certain things to the slasher. So basically what we're going to do is he's going to have runes on his body. You're going to have to shoot 9 of these in total in order to move on to the next phase. So every time you see these purple runes on his body, go ahead and spray into them and shoot them until they disappear, and then eventually another one will spawn on another part of his body. Repeat this process again 9 times. Once you have completed that, he will then have some saws on the ground going towards you that you're going to want to avoid, and he will make his way up to the Pack-a-Punch cabin. He will jump on the roof. Once he does that, a bunch of fire is going to end up around you, and there's going to be these green circles you're going to want to run into. Now, if you don't already have Eagle Eye on, make sure that you hit your Eagle Eye card and get it ready. And you're going to use the Eagle Eye card as well as the M1 Pack-a-Punch and literally just one-shot all of these skeletons. They do massive amounts of damage, and they take massive amounts of damage if you're using normal weapons. But when using the M1 and Eagle Eye, you literally kill these skeletons in one hit because it counts as a critical hit with a Pack-a-Punched M1. So again, make sure you are 100% doing this to take out these skeletons. Once you've killed the skeletons, you will then be teleported back into Rave mode, and you will have to repeat the exact same process we did in the first phase. There will, once again, if you're in solo or whatever one, there will be more soul balls, and you're going to want to run through the outskirts of the map, filling up these soul balls, once again, dodging the zombies, the slasher, and making sure that you are staying moving every single time, and you're not standing in one place for too long. Another thing that changes in this first phase is the middle of the map. There will be 2 barriers that actually spawn in that don't allow you to get through the middle of the island. So once again, stay on the outskirts like we did in the first phase. As long as you stay on the outskirts, you won't even notice that these barriers are really here at all. Once you've done that, once again, make sure that you're filling them up, and once you've filled them up, you will then again have to do the exact same thing we did in phase 1, which is going to be a circle is going to spawn on one of these 2 soul balls, and you're going to want to get the slasher to the circle, and you're going to want to shoot the rune on his body. So as you guys can see, the circle is back over here, and now I'm going to go ahead and get the slasher over here so that I could shoot the rune on him and be able to actually do the damage to his runes in normal mode. Now at this point, you can make a bunch of crawlies. No other zombies will spawn when you're going for the whole circular thing and getting the slasher inside of it. So this will help a great deal. As you guys can see right here in the gameplay, I did exactly that and was just trying to lead the slasher into the circle. It was a little bit hectic because I had a little bit more crawlies than I wanted to, but still at the end of the day, it worked out better than having a whole bunch of running zombies. After you've shot the rune on his body and brought him back into normal Rave mode, we are going to repeat the exact same process. He will have the runes appearing on his body that you're going to have to shoot 9 times in order to bring him into another one of those fire phases. Once you've done that and he's gone back to the cabin, these circles will appear again. Head back into one of the green circles, and once again take out your M1 and take out these skeletons as fast as possible, and make sure that they don't come out of their little like circles from the ground and come to attack you. This will be the last time we are going to have to take out these skeletons, which makes it so much easier to know, especially if you're almost out of Eagle Eye, as I was here inside of this gameplay as well. Once you have taken out these skeletons once again, we will now have a third Rave phase where we're going to have to do the soul balls again. This time as well, the full middle of the island is completely blocked off on both sides. So again, make sure you're staying on the outskirts, repeating the exact same process of filling up the soul balls on the two diagonal ends of the island. And then, of course, make sure that you do get a couple of crawlies by the end of this, because this is going to be the full final phases of this boss fight, and you're going to want to make sure that you are fully prepared and not overwhelmed at any point. Now, once you filled up both of the soul balls, the third and final circle, I'm not sure if it's always, but from what I've noticed is it's always in the middle and center area that you cannot get out from either side. So as soon as the last circle appears right here inside of the middle, once again, get a bunch of crawlies and stand him in it and shoot the rune on him. If you have the crawlies, it will make this 10 times easier, especially considering it's in the center where you can't go left or right, and you are literally in this small confined area, especially with the slasher coming for you. Once you've done that, shoot the runes on his body 9 times once again. And once you have actually broken the runes on him this time, he will begin to scream and he will begin to do this whole animation. Once he's done with that animation, we are now literally going to just release our weapons into him. Use every single weapon that you have. Use the type 2 dual wield as well. It does a massive amount of damage, and literally just fire into the slasher. Once again, make sure that you're dodging, of course, your crawlers and dodging the slasher so that you don't get down and killed, especially in the final portion of this boss fight. Once you've killed him though, the slasher will begin to go down into the ground, and you will get some dialogue from Willard Weiler telling you that you somehow beat him and he's upset about it, all of that kind of stuff. Now, once the slasher is dead and the dialogue ends, then you will be able to pick up the soul key. So remember wherever he went into the ground, because the soul key will literally be wherever the slasher went into the ground. Once you've picked up the soul key though, you have completed the Rave in the Redwoods Easter egg. It is as easy and as simple as that. If you are playing on director's cut mode as well, the talisman is going to be on the stairs going up into the Pack-a-Punch cabin on the exact same island. So make sure that you don't leave this island after you've picked up the soul key, and you make sure that you pick up the talisman when you come back out. Anyways, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this Easter egg guide helps you guys complete Rave in the Redwoods in 2026. This is a very easy Easter egg. It's a little bit difficult only because of the fact of it being the boss fight is a little bit difficult. Other than that though, it is a very simple and easy Easter egg to complete. Anyways, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and make sure you hit that bell notification down below to stay up to date on all the content coming to the channel in the coming months. Anyways, goodbye, and remember to stay timeless.